There we go. So welcome. This is the February packet review for RE leaders. The theme is going to be love. And I wanted to open with a quote from our lovely Lifting Our Voices readings book by Maya Angelou. We are weaned from our timidity. In the flush of love's light, we dare to be brave. And suddenly we see that love costs all we are and will ever be. Yet it is only love which sets us free. So we're going to talk about love today, and I'm going to invite Charla. Welcome.
Thank you. Sorry to be late.
No problem. We're glad you're here. We're doing February theme of love, and I am recording, and then I'm going to stop recording as I'm done with the overview. So the packet for February includes, let me get one more thing set, includes, there we go. The packet for February includes 4 sessions. Love for self is the first one. Love for family and friends is the second one. Love for community is the third one. And the fourth one, a little more playful, is what do you really love? It's right from what my grandchildren say to me. I really love that. It's also Black History Month. And I'm going to go through each session and pull out the highlights of the things I've enjoyed doing. The first session, Love for Self, the premise is to help the children mature and explore the path that says we can't really love others until we love ourselves. And as a female growing up, it's really hard. The messages are so intense that you don't ever love yourself. And so we're going to try and provide an antidote in our congregation for that. The Wonder Box is a mirror. So when you bring it out, an object, you say, hey, look at yourself. What does it feel like to look at yourself? The Valentine theme that runs through it. So working with children, you got to notice that February is Valentine's month. And actually, out of the brainstorm lab came the idea of how about this week before Valentine's Sunday, we write a Valentine to ourselves as a way of being gentle with ourselves and reminding ourselves that we have something we love about ourselves. I used to do this in UU youth group all the time. You know, you write a letter and then your advisor mails it back to you in a week. In this case, we suggest a week so they get it around Valentine's, or sometimes I got some a year later. And it's really fun to see that little time capsule. I also include this whole thing about Michelle Obama and the book called Parker Curry Finds Herself, something like that. The premise is she's walking through the National Gallery in Washington, D.C. She sees the new portrait of Michelle Obama, First Lady, in a beautiful dress, and she realizes this for the first time. There is somebody who looks like me. She's a little African-American girl. And I dove into Michelle Obama's portrait a little more, and it's just full of these synchronistic, wonderful, the artist, this is the first time they've had a woman artist do a national portrait. She picked this beautiful black and white gown, which is abstract, and it has to do with Michelle Obama's sense of modernity and excitement and the love she has for herself to make it to where she is today and at the time. And there's also some connection to Gee's Bend, which is a remote African-American community in North Carolina of former enslaved Africans, and how they make quilts that look sort of like the patterns in Michelle Obama's gown. So anyway, whenever I fall into these wormholes, I just love to
you learn a lot.
Find these connections. I get real excited. And then of course I was all excited. Oh, what's Michelle Obama all about? And I found a Carpool Karaoke video with James Corden as a late night host. And he gets in the car with all these famous people. He's
Right.
done it with Paul McCartney. He's done it with, I don't know, everybody. And he does it with the first lady. And he's getting into the White House and they drive around and she's rocking out to Stevie Wonder. And somebody else jumps in the back seat who's doing a program for her girls, supporting girls. Anyway, I had to put that in because I tested it on my grandchildren, 5th and 3rd grade, and they started rocking out too.
That was fun.
So fun. Yeah. So a little bit of fun for that connection there. All right. The second of the 4 sessions is family and friends. And this one is the one I assume you'll do right around Valentine's Day. This is sort of the justice-oriented one. We take the whole family and equality lens for this one. The books are about, there's 2 suggestions. One's about the Loving family. Mr. and Mrs. Loving actually took the case to the Supreme Court about racial equality. They weren't allowed to marry because she was African American, he was white. So that whole story is one suggestion. There's a suggestion for what to do with the story of the UUs in California in 2005, who sent thousands of Valentines to Arnold Schwarzenegger, who was the governor, so that they would say, we want to support the Marriage Equality Act. Unfortunately, it didn't pass. However, the story remains, and eventually it did pass. So that's pretty fun. And we always like to do a justice angle in some of this. And that story is from the Tapestry of Faith program, which is the UUA online freebie program called Faithful Journeys. The other thing we do for the Valentines is, rather than just say, I love you, we thought, well, maybe we'll tease it out a little bit more. And I put in a template for things I love about you. That if they're old enough, or if you have someone who can write the stuff for the little guys, a little more specific, because don't we love it when someone tells us something specific too? I love the way you dance. I love the way you sing. I love the recipe you make when you fix spaghetti, that kind of thing. That's the second one. I do tend to do Valentine's as the project, the Explore project, because the kids are all excited about that. The third one is Love of Community. There is the most wonderful book called Dream Street, which just came out. It's written by 2 women who are cousins who wrote it to remind themselves about the street they grew up on. It's one of these classic neighborhood stories. African American, again, these 2 women are very renowned in their fields, and they happen to remember this street. So I thought, okay, there we go for neighbors. Oh, and then for community, making chains of hearts. I don't know. I'm addicted to the accordion. The accordion arts, little people, little hearts. I just love them. The little legs on people. Okay, so accordion stuff. Circle games is the other thing, because we're doing community. And then there's this beautiful video called For Estefani, Who Made Me a Card. It's written by poet Gourmet, and I can't pronounce her first name. However, watch that video. There's a link in there in the packet. Oh, I forgot to record. No, I am recording. Good.
You are recording.
Thank you. See how my brain is. It's beautiful. And in this, I will reveal it to you. She gets a word, and she doesn't know what it means. It's just and finally, it's revealed that it's a phonetic pronunciation by this little 3rd grade girl, is love is for everybody. And it's just beautiful and worth sharing with the kids. Okay, the 4th part of the packet is the last one, and that's the one that says, what do you love? What do you love? I really love this. I really love that. I took a two-pronged approach. So there's actually sort of part A or part B in this. It can be a show and tell. So what do you love? I would announce this a few weeks in advance and see if anybody could share their collection with you. It could be an adult sharing their rock collection. It could be a butterfly collection. It could be a collection of Matchbox cars. It could be a collection of da 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 da. So if you can get somebody to come in or several somebodies and base it around a collection of something that they really love. The second prong for this, what do you really love? I call it making love soup. There's a beautiful book called Thank You, Omu, and she shares this soup. And everyone in the neighborhood comes by and takes a sip. And pretty soon there's nothing left. But at the end, they all bring an ingredient and they create the soup again. And so it's sort of the stone soup approach. And I love to do that with children because every time I did it, we made it a annual tradition. The sanctuary would fill with the smell of soup. And we would invite everyone who wanted to come back and eat that love soup with us. And it's just an idea. And just so you know, I always would say, yes, I do let children with adult supervision use a paring knife. And it's because if you're in the right place and you don't have children who do have boundary and control issues, they can be very honored that you are giving them something that is hard to do and maybe a little dangerous, but you trust them to be appropriate with this. The other thing I collected over the years were chopping jars, and I put a link in there, and it's a real safe way to do that for the very young children. So that is my overview for the February packet. I'm going to turn off the record and wish everyone else a goodbye, but I'm going to stay on for you guys. Hold on.